Evening all, and welcome to episode 51 of Kerbalism. Now, last time out we put the brand new Kinesia station into orbit and transferred all the fuel and the two crew members over to it. And we start this episode with the descent of the old station. She is going to burn all her fuel off and descend back into the atmosphere to Kerbal to burn up, crash into the surface. I'm not really sure which, but either way, her life has sadly come to an end. Well, a lot more of the station survived than I expected, but we even got a little probe core in there that survived. Look. So yeah, that's the end of the old station. Out with the old and in with the new. And our quest for more money continues. I've just completed another temperature survey scan, and I went through the tracking station, and every bit of debris that was landed on Kerbal I have recovered to try and get a bit more money back from, and that's brought us up to 1.5 million. We still need 180,000 to upgrade the station here, but of course we're going to need a little bit more than that as well, because we wouldn't want to research that and then have no way of launching any craft anymore. So yeah, we need to be aiming for sort of, I suppose, the 2 million mark or something. Contracts are becoming, well, sort of plant a flag on Mimus and plant a flag on the moon. They're all doable, but because I no longer have the pods on the station, launching anything to get to the moon or get to Mimus and back again would cost 100-ish thousand, 130,000, something like that, and you earn about sort of 30 grand out of it. So it's if we had more science to do, that'd be worth it. But I'm sure we have got science to do on the moon. But yeah, I don't know. But got a few of these, the adjust orbits. They're doable. All a Rhino liquid fuel engine into a suborbital trajectory over the moon. That could be done with that there. It's sort of finding something that's going to make us a bit of money, but not cost us loads to launch there. What I'm tempted to do is simply wait. We've got this contract here, which will give us 60 grand, 59,000, and then we've got this one here that's going to give us 400,000. If I could complete it. This is going to be a difficult one to actually complete, because I'd have to bring I'd have to return to Kerbal from it. So yeah, but I think when we fly by Duna, we'll get that money. When we gather scientific data, we'll get that money. Then when we return, we'll get that one, and when we do all of them, we'll get that one. So in theory, our flyby of Mimus, of Duna, not Mimus, would give us enough money to upgrade the research centre. So I'm going to probably wait for those. Let's have a quick look at the clock, and I'll mow her probes the next one in 21 days. So I think we'll wait for those to come along and take it from there. So, I don't know if you just saw that there, but I've been accelerating time, and we have a coronal mass ejection coming, which is a solar flare. I think that's the common term for it. Not a problem at all, because Kinesia Station does have shielding. The only Kerbals I have out at the moment are obviously the two here. We've got Eleanor and Gilfia. They are on here. We've also had a malfunction here in a converter. But these are scientists, so unfortunately They can't do anything about it. This has got full shielding on it, and both of them are inside the pod here, so they should be safe. We'll have to send an engineer up to repair that there. Everything else is okay. I could probably destroy Jamrina's craft, but right. Let's accelerate time to this ejection. And there we are. We are under the solar flare. It's got 6 hours left. I don't really know. It's still moaning about the ammonia, even though that's being produced. So we're probably good for that. I don't really know of any way to find out what happened during this period. I mean, I know we've had a few before, but I think we've just got to basically live through it, and hopefully none of our Kerbals, well, hopefully they stay green and don't become glowing green. And there we go, we've got to relax, the solar storm is over, and we've got a direct link with... Oh yes, of course, solar storm knocks out all communications as well. So if you've got a probe doing something, you can't talk to it anymore, and all sorts of things going on here. But the shielding's still up full, not dropped at all. I did wonder whether it burnt off shielding, but no, it appears our Kerbals are just fine. Don't really know how to show... here we are. Vitals. 8% radiation and 9% radiation. So yeah, don't know if you can get radiation scrubbers. Probably not, I think. I should have probably shut them during the radiation thing. Oops. Oh well, we'll just have to live with that. And yeah, obviously that's something green and glowing in there. I don't know what they're growing. What do you reckon this is? Just random parts. I don't know what Kerbals eat. Snacks, I suppose. They are growing snacks, so they're clearly herbivores. They eat plants of some description. Or maybe not. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're... I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of Kerbal civilization. I don't know what they eat, what they drink, whatever. Well, I know they drink water, or at least they do with this mod. I think by default Kerbals don't actually eat or drink anything. They just are. Maybe they photosynthesize or something. Who knows? They could be plants. Would explain why they're green. But anyway, let's carry on until our probe, or Moho, is out here somewhere. Where are you, Moho probe? That one there. Reaches Moho, which shouldn't be too long. And just as the sun is beginning to rise on day 133 of year 2, our Moho probe is ready. Our first trip to another celestial body. There it is. There is Moho. We will be changing into its sphere of influence in 30 seconds. And the good news is we still do have signal with Kerbal. This antenna was enough to do it. I actually think, yeah, even if it was the furthest point away, it would be able to do it. So, yep, that's good. I know people have put in the comments about the signal ranges and stuff like that, but I'll be honest with you, I look at the numbers and I try and figure out in my head and plan it all and go, that's fantastic. And then don't think when I'm putting it together. And just sort of go, yeah, put that antenna on there, that's fine. Like, for instance, that says relay and doesn't actually relay data. Yeah, a little pet peeve for me on there. But anyway, there we are. We are in the sphere of influence of Moho. We have made it. I can do lots and lots of experiments, I would like to think. There we are, look, radiation scan, pressure scan and temperature scan. dip, and dip. And we can transmit those three back. Transmit, transmit, and transmit. So we'll look at our data here. Yes, there we are. We'll obviously get closer. I'd like to try and put this in orbit, but I don't think I can. 113 meters a second. It's going to take well more than that, isn't it? Okay, so to get into orbit of that, we would need 5,000 meters. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So I think we're just going to do a flyby. I don't even think I could get closer to it. Could I? No, to get there to do an atmospheric scan is too much. So yeah, I could have probably done it further away. But anyway, I think we should get some more data as we fly closer to it. Although 2 million meters is probably still high. Well, definitely still high. So high in space over Moho. That's probably it. That's probably our lot done. Let's point retrograde, so our dish is kind of pointing at Kerbal. Not that that matters. It's a little thing I don't know why, I just like kind of doing it. Yeah, having it so the dish roughly points the right direction. There's absolutely no reason to do that at all. They work no matter which way you're doing it, but yeah, there we go. Now it kind of, well, it's facing that way, but yeah, it's whatever. So yeah, we'll transmit this data back, and this doesn't give us any contracts because we had nothing for Moho. But yeah, we'll transmit this back, and I'll fly a bit closer and see whether anything else pops up as we go in. No other science has appeared, so we've got everything we can be in this far away from Moho. We are about to get the closest to another asteroid body that we've ever done. Asteroid body, sorry, and that was it. We were the closest ever to another planet. And now this probe will go off, and I'm not really sure what it's going to do now. It's it does cross. But it doesn't quite cross Eve one. I might see whether I can just burn the little fuel off and try and get it to meet Eve at some point. But for now, it's done its duty. It's going to transmit this data back, and our next portal call is going to be our Sentinel Telescope in 15 days. And so, many days have passed, and here we are at our Sentinel Telescope. That was the word. All I need to do with this, I believe, is slow it down. We need to point retrograde and slow it down till we get to this red orbit here. So let's fire the engine off and wait an awfully long time for this to come down. This is very, very slow. It's got a big engine on the end. It's got the poodle, which isn't the greatest of engines, but it's large, but it does weigh a lot. There's still a lot of fuel left in this tank here, so we'll bring this down and hopefully get our contract complete for positioning, at least, to reach the destination orbit. And then we've got to start mapping and try and find some asteroids, probably before they run into Kerbal, because that's not going to be good for anyone. And here we are, we have reached our destination orbit, designated orbit, sorry. And now we've got to do is map 5 asteroids. The mapping process will happen passively over the length of time as long as any active sentinels are near the specified orbit. They do not need to be newly launched. Whoa. Right, so I've once again stood this up. If I look at the map here, if the sun was to our right, Kerbal would be kind of in front of us, so that's what I've done here. Sun's to our right, Kerbal's over there somewhere. Obviously that's just background stars, but yeah, Kerbal's that way. So we're pointing in the right direction. Doesn't need to be, I know, but hey, I like it. And right, so let's start object tracking. and have a look if we can do any science out here. Oh, we can do an infrared telescope, which will only get 16 science for, but well, we're going to transmit that back because, well, that's interesting. Can't be transmitted, must be recovered, even though there's a transfer button. How odd. So we'll keep that and probably never come and collect it. Got 2 solar panels on the sun there, and as it goes round we'll get the other ones doing things. So yeah, overall I think this is good. I'm not sure. Yep, that doesn't appear to use too much data there. No, we can't. Interesting. So that is mapping Kerbal, apparently, and I suppose now we wait. We could wait another 45 days. I have done another couple of surveys on Kerbal, and we do technically now have the money to upgrade the research centre. Let's go back to the space centre. And as you can see, we're on 1.9 million. I'm pretty sure I have circumnavigated Kerbal 4-5 times now, because all the surveys are the opposite side of the planet. And I've got a little science plane, which I was going to put in. Let me show you that. Jet plane, that's the one. This is my little plane here. Basically, they've all been either temperature scans or the atmospheric scan. And this plane, lo and behold, can actually get all the way around Kerbal and back again. You set these to normal mode. I think they're on dry mode. You fly to your destination, put them in wet mode, and you can actually dive and turn the plane upwards, get to about 30 kilometers. Of the engine's cut out well before that, but you can actually get up there. So lots of contracts are like take a temperature scan above 18,000 meters or something. So yeah, this plane's done that a couple of times. She then just carries on flying around the planet back to dry mode and comes around. Takes a long time, really long time to do this. It's I think it's been about an hour ago, and I've done it, yeah, I think 4 times. So maybe more, I'm not sure. But anyway, with all those complete, we obviously have enough to upgrade the Research and Development Centre to buy the drills, which we want for our moon base, or Mimas base, or any base, basically. I've got a lot more science as well. That trip to Moho brought back a lot of science, so I can unlock that at 550 and still afford to do some of these smaller ones, which I should do to fill up the tree. Not that I only want any of these. I don't think electrons could be useful, but I don't really think many of the other ones are. They probably have their uses. The advanced grabbing unit is a fantastic thing when we get some asteroids, I suppose. Be quite useful. And the specialised control would give us larger reaction wheels and the Werner engine, which is quite useful actually. The and monopropellant side tanks. I've always been confused by this little fly-by-wire thing. I don't get what it means. I mean, I've never really played with it properly, to be honest with it, but fly-by-wire is not hydraulic, so, and even when your planes have got no electricity, you can still control them. So I'm probably missing something quite obvious with that, but whatever. So we could unlock that at 550, and then, well, not all 3 of them probably, but that. I do want to unlock nuclear engines. I like them. They're fun to play with. We've also got some containers and things here. We could do many things to be upgrading and buying and stuff, but new things there, new science there. So yeah, But that's the Voyager probe, so yeah, we could make Voyager, and yeah, I think we'll unlock that. I wanted to have about 2 and a bit million because launching craft is expensive. It's like 100 and something thousand to go, and that's a lot. If we spend 1.68 million here, 1.69, 1.7 million, that's going to be leaving us 200,000. No, it's not. It's going to leave us less than that. 150,000. It's going to leave us. That doesn't leave much for me to be able to launch things. So yeah, I'm thinking I might wait for Duna 1 to come along, or I might have a look at some more contracts and look. See here, we've got another rescue missing. Oh. Rescue Dottie Kerman, who's stranded in low orbit. That's doable. And there's also a rescue someone from Minmus. I'll have a look see here. That is extremely annoying. Had I seen that contract, had that even been there beforehand, then we could have got ourselves another 160,000 funds for doing nothing. But well, it's done now, and the probe's well gone past it, so yeah, okay. Right, let's rescue some people, shall we? I could probably build something to rescue the... Yeah, let's pick up those two, and let's have another exciting episode of Kerbal Rescue Program. And so we launch the Minmus Moon Rescue Craft with Kerndred Kerman, our brave pilot, at the helm. This, hopefully, has enough Delta V to get to Minmus, back to the moon, and back to Kerbal, rescuing the 2 Kerbals we need to get, that I forget their names, and bringing them back nice and gently. I'm gonna go out to Minmus first and then try and figure it out from there. I think that's probably going to be a good idea. Might have a look to see exactly how it works, but yeah, the idea is basically one craft, grab the 2 Kerbals. Very dodgy phrase to say, but yes, we'll use the single launch craft to rescue the 2 separate Kerbals from 2 separate places and bring them all home, all in one go, with profit and all that other jazz. At least that's the plan. But plan goes, I've not been very good at sort of sticking to them, really, have I? And there we are with our encounter to Minmus. But more importantly, when I designed this craft, when I launched it, when I had everything in my head that I had to go to Minmus, to the moon, back to Kerbal. Dottie Kerman, who is one of the Kerbals I have to rescue, isn't in orbit to the moon. She's in orbit of Kerbal. She's right there. So this just has to go to Minmus, come back, do a bit of aero braking, meet up with Dottie, and we're good. So yeah, no trip to the moon required. Just rescue Dottie from Kerbal, rescue Alaris from Minmus. So, good job I noticed that, and the only reason I did notice it is because I accidentally clicked on her ship and set the target. So otherwise I'd have gone to the moon and been like, well, where are you? That makes this a little bit easier, but we've still got to get out to Minmus, set an orbit up. I don't exactly know where. Let's have a look see here. It's equatorial, and oh dear, we're a long way out, but we can readjust that as we go. And right, I will come back once I've got somewhere close to Alaris, and we can try and rescue her. And I have just realised I have been speaking for about 5 or 6 minutes without actually recording anything. So what have you missed? We found Who is she? Alice. We've discovered her. And we've rescued her. Here she is in the pod. She was in a door. A garage adapter. I'm not sure what these other companies on Kerbal are doing, but sending a garage to Minmus without everything else. There's no debris around as well, which is yeah, they're a talented group of people. But we're here, we found her, and we rescued her. So yeah, job done basically. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. That adds an alarm there. These little double markers here, you can double click to warp to periapps, which gives you a Kerbal alarm clock alarm for it. So but anyway, we want to return to Kerbal now, and I over-engineered this. I know I designed it to go to the moon and back again, and we got some weird glitches with the buildings going on here. But yeah, I think this can get back to Kerbal and probably break. Well, not break as in fall apart, but break as in actually slow down whilst we're back in orbit of Kerbal without using aero braking. But I'm still going to use aero braking because, well, it's free, so why not use it? So we will now head back to Kerbal and see if I can pick up Dottie on the way. And here we are, back at Kerbal. We did a re-entry, burnt off a battery, completely burnt that off. It was getting very hot, very red. I've used all the fuel up here trying to slow us down. We're actually out of food and water. So I can't remember exactly when that happened. I know they've got about a day without water and they die. So yeah, we're down to just monopropellant. One thing else I noticed, I don't know if it's a bug or something weird with it. When Alris joined this craft, we've got Kerbal Engineer appeared, and I didn't put a Kerbal Engineer one on here. I forgot it, and I went back in the footage and had a look at when that menu appeared, and it was when she got on board. When I switched to her, she had it. So I'm not sure whether Kerbal Engineer comes with an engineer. Do you get that readout when you've got an engineer on board? Because she is an engineer. But anyway, we need to head towards this craft here, and this is a lot more difficult than it seems. I've only got monopropellant left, and it's slow, it takes ages, and I'm on a time limit, a serious time limit here. I need to make sure I manage to get her and get this craft back to Kerbal. I've got about 2 hours to do it. That should be well enough, I would have thought. But yeah, it's just a little bit more pressure when you know there's a time limit and Kerbal's lives are on the line. And, well, we found her. We found Dottie Kerbal. Need to head that way. There's no more nitrogen on board. Okay, we've got plenty on board here. We just don't have any food or water. 3, 2... Oh, almost perfect. We've just gone up a little tiny bit there. Right, so... let's go and have a look. She is also in a garage door. It's exactly the same as the last one. I wonder who's sending garages into space. Must be someone trying to build a space garage. I'm guessing. Oh yeah, these things spin like mad when you. No, don't want to do that. Hey, yep, and let go. Let go. And then head that way. Yeah, that's what we want. Down. No, down. And oh dear, he's bounced all over the place. Down. Board. Grab. Whatever. Push the buttons. There we go. Push the right keys on the keyboard. That would help. So there we go. We are done, And now we need to do is get into re-entry. We are 87 kilometers, so that's not too bad, I suppose. I don't want to come down too fast here. That would be unset target. There we go. Yeah, there's the big green landing X that I mentioned in the last episode in the comments. That's part of this ScanSat system. You can set landing targets, and I can't remember how to get rid of them. So we've got a big green X there, and I think there's one on the moon as well. And there we go, 39.3. That will do. That will do. We are coming down on the bright side of the planet, which is a good thing. That's what we want, because that's obviously going to help. Plenty more of the planet left in this, so I'm just going to fire that off when we get around there. Let's just do this re-entry, and hopefully our 3 Kerbals can come home and not die in the process. So for some reason I completely forgot that I put a heat shield on this. I don't know why I didn't remember that, to be honest with you. But yeah, the heat shields are much better at slowing you down than engines of any real description. So yeah, I don't quite know why I just didn't drop the off and do that in the first place. But anyway, here we go. We'll add little drogue troops there. Then our main one will deploy in a moment, and we will have a lovely splashdown for our 3 brave Kerbals. 100. Don't know if we'll get any more experience with this, but yeah, hopefully. Well, what am I saying? Hopefully, it'll definitely be just in the heat shield. Down it goes, and we'll have a nice gentle splashdown. Contracts complete. People rescued. More Kerbals to our roster. Everything is awesome. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Until then, as always, have fun.